racing at the peak of their form at Hawthorne, Laramie, or Cicero at 35th. Time now is 10:45.
Wrigley's Spearmint Gum presents The Howard Miller Show. Now here with music on records is Howard Miller.
Thank you very much, Joe Foss, and how do you do once again for Wrigley Spearmint Chewing Gum? Always a pleasure, of course, to be with you, and always a pleasure to come into your home bearing the fruits of the gods, which in this particular case happens to be the clean white pack of Wrigley Spearmint, the good minty flavor that always makes for pleasant relaxation. Well, let's begin today's show by first off telling you a little bit about the format. We're going to have a couple of phonograph records, one of which is going to be performed by a young boy in the recording industry new to the field by the name of Nick Todd. You'll also hear Nick's story as he tells it on CBS right after we listen to The Tune Weavers, one of the hottest records in the Midwest and certainly one that's growing to staggering proportions at the national level. The Tune Weavers with their checker recording of Happy, Happy Birthday, Darling.
Happy, happy birthday, baby. Although you with somebody new, thought I'd drop a line to say that I wish this happy day would find me beside you. Happy, happy birthday, baby. No, I can't call you my baby. Seems like years ago we met on a day I can't forget, 'cause that's when we fell in love. Do you remember the names we had for each other? I was your pretty, you were my baby. Oh, could we say goodbye? Hope I didn't spoil your birthday. I am not acting like a lady, so I'll close this note to you with good luck and wishes too. Happy, happy birthday, baby.
Those are the Tune Weavers, a new vocal group here in the Middle West who have identified themselves with a fine song called simply Happy, Happy Birthday, Baby. Their names are the Tune Weavers. I presume that you, too, spotted the overtones of the familiar voice of Patti Page, the girl singer who is not given a label credit here, but it's certainly due her testimony if the record's a hit, because I think it's her styling that makes it so, and a good musical background. Sounds very, very much like the little girl who made her successes off the geographical locations like Cape Cod and Tennessee and places of that sort, Miss Patti Page. But it wasn't Patti. This girl is just a member of a vocal group known as the Tune Weavers. I hope today is one of the days in your life that you're going to enjoy the pleasureful chewing of Wrigley Spearmint Chewing Gum. Now, one of the reasons that it's always so good is because it's good for you. Not only does it give you pleasure, but it gives you healthful benefits. You see, the chewing action of Wrigley Spearmint keeps your teeth clean and attractive, keeps your breath always sweet. It's good for youngsters, it's good for oldsters, whatever your age. Wrigley is good for you, and it's always good to relax and enjoy. So if it's convenient for you today, Mama dear, or Papa, sons or daughters, I hope that you'll pick up a couple of packs of the product that's so widely accepted by everybody in every land in the world. Wrigley Spearmint Chewing Gum, a delightful treat that you'll enjoy today and every day you choose it. Well, let's meet a fine young boy singer by the name of Nick Todd, and it's with apologies that I first explain that Nick Todd is the brother of Pat Boone.
Oh, that's nothing to apologize
for. It certainly isn't. You're so right, because there's no apologies needed, except that I think it's always embarrassing to a performer who has two good legs to stand on and good talent, Nick, to qualify him by saying that he is a member of a family that's already famous.
That is a bit of a disadvantage. However, of course, there is some advantage to his being my brother, because this fortunately gives me a few opportunities that I probably wouldn't have otherwise.
That's right, and if you fail at show business, you can always go over to his house and sponge on him.
Right.
Because he's making enough for all of us. But Pat is a wonderful boy, and without talking about him too much, I just want to say this. When you do see him again out in California or in the East, will you please give him my warmest regards? Pat and I are very good friends.
Right, I'll sure do that.
Now, Nick, let's talk about your career. First of all, where did it begin? Where did you do some amateur work before you turned professional with the Dot label?
Most of my amateur work was centered around Nashville, where I've spent most of my life. And it consisted of very amateur things like singing for banquets and that sort of thing, variety shows and parties and that sort of thing. That was back when I was in high school, and prior to that even. And, of course, I went to college 4 years, and during that time, I did a good bit of quartet work.
Yes.
And,
you and Elvis Presley didn't have a multiple voice group, did you?
No, we didn't, no.
It'd be pretty hard to stand next to Elvis and sing in multiple voice style, and you shake so much, I mean, you'd have to move off the stage. But is that about the same geographical location that most of this country and Western music is coming from? Your home, Nick?
Yes, it's centered around Nashville and Memphis and in between.
Let me get one thing straight first before we proceed. Your first name is actually Nick.
Yes, it's
Is
Nick.
that, what, a contraction of Nicholas?
No, it's a nickname. I don't choose to tell my real name. I never tell anyone that. I think only the immediate members of the family know that.
Well, I think this would be a nice place to tell it to, because practically nobody's listening.
Oh.
Only about 120 million people.
120 million.
Nick, that's all. Well, now, Nick, having then decided that you were going to pursue a professional career at the professional level, this required some stimulation from people who said, well, you're good enough, Nick, why don't you sing professionally? Who were those people? Who was responsible, really?
Well, now, some members of the staff of the Nashville Tennessean, a newspaper in Nashville, are responsible for starting me out, so to speak, because they chose me as their discovery of the week during a series of park concerts during the summer. And each pick of the week, each discovery of the week would be the headliner at the park concert each Sunday. And they chose me for that, and of course gave me a great deal of publicity. And from then on, I sort of rose bit by bit.
Yes. And then finally, Randy Wood of the Dot Record Company,
yes,
sensing that there was a talent there and a value, then came to you and said, how would you like to record?
Right, that was about a year ago.
Oh, was it that long ago?
Yes, and it was shortly after a production of Oklahoma that a college production, which I had the lead in, and he called and said, how would you like to make records? I said, fine. And he said, all right. And so later on he told me that I didn't sound too enthusiastic. Actually, I was pretty involved with school activities, which I couldn't let go of, and
sure,
I naturally had to finish school there. And so he called me again the first of this summer and said, how about it? I said, fine, again. And so this time we
this time
took
you were
a few
enthusiastic.
Very.
What did you study for in school, Nick? Had show business not turned out to be a career for you, what are you prepared for?
Well, I majored in English and minored in speech. I have a teacher's certificate, and I'm planning on getting a master's degree in dramatic arts this fall.
Mm-hmm. Both you and Pat are very studious. Pat finished his career at Columbia. How do you account for this? Is father or mother in education work at all at the professorial level or teaching level?
Not at all. Daddy graduated with a degree in architecture from the University of Florida, and Mama only went 2 years to a junior college in Florida.
Uh-huh. But you just have a natural tack or a bent for teaching. Apparently Pat does too, because he once told me he'd like to either teach or study for the ministry, and as a matter of fact came very close to the ministry, didn't he?
Yes, he aimed in that direction for a short period of time.
Yes. Well, now what about the material that Randy Wood gave you? As I recall, Pat's career started on the wings of a rock and roller,
That's right,
in a sense. This apparently is the best way to start a new performer. I guess it probably requires less of a performance from the standpoint of a finished voice.
That's right, yes. And, of course, a person starting out as green comparatively as I am probably couldn't handle a ballad so well, and consequently wouldn't sound so good. And
Yes.
If he can get someone like me can get hold of a very catchy tune, then it makes it much easier.
Let the song sort of tide you over that first rough stage of your career. Well, what about studying now? Are you going to study music so that you can take a more serious attack on it and perhaps do ballads? It was a very strange thing when I first heard Pat sing. Randy and I mutually agreed that this boy would never be able to sing a ballad. That shows you how much we knew about it, because today, of course, Pat is basically a balladeer, much more than a swing singer. Will you study as he did for ballads?
Well, he actually didn't study music, Howard. We both take lessons from a vocal coach in New York who goes by the name of Carlo Menotti, not the Giancarlo Menotti, but he's a very good teacher, and I've taken about 8 lessons from him at various times, and he's helped me immensely. I automatically do what he's taught me, which is very good. I don't have to concentrate on it.
Yes. Well, of course, there must be a natural talent there that a teacher can bring out. You just can't say, I will now be a singer and go to a teacher.
Right. Well, that's what he tries to do. He says that he doesn't want to give me a voice. He wants to bring out the natural voice that I have.
Got. Well, let's see what that natural voice sounds like. This is a good record. I would say it's very definitely in the rock and roll field. It's a rhythm tune.
It is.
It's unquestionably going to be a big hit for you, Nick, because it already shows signs here in Chicago, which was a start-off place for Pat, and I presume it will be for Nick. So here is Nick Todd with his dot-labeled recording called Plaything.
Plaything,
Plaything, that's all I was to you.
but
now your little game is through. Play girl, stop knocking at my door. I'm not your plaything anymore. Your love was only make-believe, some tricks you carried up your sleeve. I'm through. No need to walk the floor. I'm not your plaything anymore. I gave my love, my all to you, because I thought you loved me too. I wanted your love, yes, all the way, but no, not you. You wanted to play, girl. Your little plaything's gone out. To learn a different song by now. I'll see you nevermore. I'm not your plaything anymore. Plaything, that's all I was to you. But now your little game is through. Play girl, stop knocking at my door. I'm not your plaything anymore. Your love was only make-believe, some tricks you carried up your sleeve. I'm through. No need to walk the floor. I'm not your plaything anymore. I gave my love, my all to you, because I thought you loved me too. I wanted your love, yes, all the way, but no, not you. You wanted to play, girl. Your little plaything's gone out. To learn a different song by now. I'll see you nevermore. I'm not your plaything anymore.
That's Plaything, done by Nick Todd, labeled Dot. You notice I didn't say Nick Todd, Pat Boone's brother, because now that you have been exposed as a good singer, that's sufficient. You can forget all about your relatives.
That sounds good by itself.
It certainly does. Well, now, this is a disc jockey tour, of course, and where will it end up, Nick?
It will end in Cleveland, let me see, Friday and Saturday. I go to St. Louis, fly tonight, and we'll get there tonight. And tomorrow and Thursday I'll be in St. Louis. And then Cleveland. Well,
the best of luck to you. Say hello to all the disc jockeys that you visit. I know that you'll like them, and thanks for being here.
Thanks a lot, Howard.
That was Nick Todd from the Dot Record Company, and this is Howard Miller from Chicago, reminding you again that there's just no product in all the world that you'll enjoy more than Wrigley Spearmint Chewing Gum. So when you think about it today, Mama, when you do all the rest of the grocery shopping for the good things that you want your family to enjoy, you recall those 3 names, Wrigley Spearmint Gum. It'll bring you a lot of pleasure. We'll see you tomorrow. Here's Joe Foss, boy singer.
You've just heard The Howard Miller Show, brought to you from Chicago by Wrigley's Spearmint Gum. Be sure to join Howard tomorrow at this same time on the CBS Radio Network.
WBBM Chicago.
Psst. Hey, lady.